Like the Hood Postman, reporting live. This the Hood Postman, come and check the program. You ain't from the streets, this is something you should know, man. Running from police, gotta grip the wheel with both hands. Speeding down the interstate, please do not approach him. 40s in the fridge, got the caddy in the driveway. Get all out of my face, I don't wanna violate. Looked up in the mirror and I told myself, why wait? We took this shit worldwide, you only in 5 states. Came from the 4 corners with my 4 quarters. Showed them the style, then they stole on us. Times got wild, then they told on us. Dog, it was hard, but we had to keep it rolling. You ain't gotta ask, you know where to find me. I be in the back streets where it get grimy. It's just me and Mel, Rennie looking Bride D. I be going hard till I'm in the 5 C's. Know the vibes, I'ma do it till I die. I ain't never switched sides, I ain't never had to tell a lie. Let's ride. Know the vibes, I'ma do it till I die. I ain't never switched sides, I ain't never told them no lie. Let's ride. Hood Postman, 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 Hood Postman.
Shout out to the Mailroom Nation, the Mailroom Goons. I am Professor Melly Mail, the Hood Postman. We are in the house. This isn't a glorification. This is an education. You can go anywhere and hear lies, but you come here to hear the truth. Before they had handguns, we had bare ones. Man up. Be sure to click the notification bell, like, subscribe, and share. Drop a comment down below. So when this dope content hit, it'll feel like it's the first and the 15th. How you guys doing this evening? Let's see. Guess is the voice, everything up? The vocals up? The voice coming through clear? Everything's clear? Man, I really had a rough evening today. Truck went down. Yeah, that was a disaster. You know, what's interesting about the truck, right? I drive a Kenworth 680, and it had to go to the shop, get a couple of things done, but I got a loaner truck, right? So now I'm in a freight liner. The difference is like going from a Mercedes-Benz to a 62 Falcon. That's the difference. I'm talking about it just, man, there's no comparisons when you talk about Freightliner and Kenworth. It's just no comparison. But a lot of people don't know that Kenworth is really a concept car truck for Peterbilt. And Peterbilt, anything that Peterbilt want to do in regards to a Peterbilt, they first try it on a Kenworth. Because if it go over well on the Kenworth, and then but they don't like to touch them Pete's because people like their Pete's the way they come. They don't want you to do nothing. They want them long-nosed Pete's, and they want them exactly how they are. They don't want you doing nothing to them. But shout out to everybody in the chat room. I appreciate everybody joining me today. Let's see what's going on in the comments. Well, shout out to Michelle. Shout out to Dominic Merriweather. Of course, Marlena Williams. Yeah, oh no, Marlena. Yeah, it went down. You know, and we can talk about this trucking stuff because I know people they be having questions about trucking. Trucking is a very lucrative. It can be anything you want it to be. But what I want to tell you, anybody that's interested in getting in trucking, I would first tell you, know this. You're the captain of the ship because nobody's sitting behind no computer screen, no dispatcher, no booking agent, or none of them people could tell you to move that truck unless you deem it's necessary to move it and you feel it's safe to do so. So when you out there in the weather and dealing with all these different types of weather and you feel that it's unsafe, don't move the truck. Regardless of what the shipper is saying, even if you got owners or whatever, don't do it because you're the captain of the ship, and therefore that license sitting in that wallet in your back pocket, that's your license, and you have to be the one to protect it. If you look at the federal rule, motor carrier rules and safety, It'll tell you. If you feel that the vehicle is unsafe to move, don't move it. Simple as that. So I know there's a lot of people out there nowadays that's getting into the trucking business. The trucking business can go anywhere from 80,000 to right about 300,000 to depending on what you want to do with it. There's a lot of independent operators out there. There's lease operators, and there's people that have their own authority. They have their full own authority. They mean they have their truck, their license, their MCM, their MC number, their DOT number. They have their own insurance. They have their own trailer. I mean, they have full authority over what they do in regards to trucking. So then you have somebody what is an independent operator. In other words, you are like a 1099. You don't necessarily it's your truck and you work for a company, but they're leasing your truck through you. You work 1099, and that works for some people. And then you have what is known as lease operators, like the bigger companies like CR England, Swift, Snyder. They like to do lease operators over there. And I don't know if they still do it in California. I think California's a little tight on that. And the lease operator, what it is, they be walk away contracts. What you can do, they put you in a spanking brand new truck. Your payment will be anywhere from $500, $600, $700 a week. Of course, you'll be making about maybe anywhere to $7,000 to $10,000 a week. So, I mean, that's only if you hustle, though. You got to be a hustler. You can't be sitting around waiting and liking this load and not liking that load. Of course, you have the right to refuse a dispatch. Of course, anybody has the right to refuse dispatch. But if you out there hustling and getting that money, yeah, yeah, this guy, I got to send him a message right quick, right? Hold on. Okay, now I got to get rid of one. Move that screen. Okay, is that normal? Is that normal? No, it's not. Uh, do it again. Okay, how about that? Nope, not normal. Let me go out and come back in. I don't like when people get to texting me when I'm already there. Okay, that's normal, right? Can you guys hear me okay? Yes, we can heat that. Hear that right on, Michelle. Okay, good, good. No echoes or nothing, right? So going back to the trucking industry, the truckers industry is a very lucrative business. It depends on you. What you put into it is what you get out of it. And a lot of people get out there and they really, because truck driving school, let me tell you about truck driving school don't really teach you how to, to drive a truck. All they do is teach you how to pass the DMV. And that's not necessarily enough for you to become a trucker. That's just the basics. But we
Can you
got
hear
our
me?
special guest in. We got the Westwolf in from the LBC. What's going on? What's going on with the Flex?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hold on, let me put my Bluetooth on so I can hear you a little bit better.
Okay.
All right, there we go. How about now? Can you hear me still?
I can still hear you, bro. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but you really low.
That's because you got that Bluetooth on. It'd be better if you just cut the Bluetooth off.
Trying to see if my Bluetooth will work.
Because I got the volume all the way up.
I don't
A
know
lot of
why.
times, the Bluetooths don't work well on StreamYard.
Because I can hear you, but it's just a little low.
How about now?
My damn Bluetooth ain't working for shit.
Yeah.
Okay, I can hear you a little bit. Go ahead.
Yeah, the Bluetooth don't work good on StreamYard. That's what it be.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'm glad you can hear me though.
Yeah, I can definitely hear you. We can hear you loud and clear. So I want to talk about where you grew up and how did you come about, how did you get into the music business and how has it been for you? And also everybody's Flex is a truck driver as well. He has his own authority. But what I want to tell you guys before we get started, I want to tell you the most important relationship you have is the one with yourself. Too many people don't like who they are. They focus on their faults, their weaknesses, their mistakes, and failures. They wish they were taller. They wish they was bigger, or they wish they were stronger. They wish all these different things. They wish they was better, had a better personality like their homie or their cousin or whatever. But instead of accepting themselves as a masterpiece, they make it in the image that the God was made in. Instead of accepting all that, they come up with all these other things that necessarily to take away who they are as individuals. I'd like to welcome everybody to the chat with Mr. Flex, Montel, aka the Westwolf. What's good with
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
champ?
What's
Can you
good?
hear
What's
me?
good? I
Can
can
you hear
hear
me?
you. I can hear
Okay,
you,
good,
fam.
good, good. So where did you grow up at, Flex?
I grew up in Long Beach, man. You know, on the east side, on 15th and Stanley.
15th and Stanley. Is that what you guys know as the 1-5?
That's where the idea of the 1-5 started at. Yeah, right there. It actually started uh right around the block, probably right off Wanapero and 15th.
So what was the difference between the 1-5, 21st Street, and the 20s? So the 21st Street would be the Insanes, the 20s would be the 20s, right?
Actually, it was a little bit mixed up. It just depends on the generation and also the people that was involved because everybody kind of like a melting pot. So
Uh-huh.
depending on who your family was, that would determine what set you really fell up under or where you chose. But the difference was I think in that time when we were doing the 1-5 thing, none of us really was under a set at the time for the most part. Then you had some
Uh-huh.
people that were they were kind of like my homie Little Ricky and all them. They were from 1-9, but because we all kind of grew up in that same little environment, we kind of just kind of bridged together and created what we call the 1-5 clique. So the 1-5 clique just kind of just grew its legs and just kind of took off based off of that from everybody in our age group.
And originally, how many were you guys in the 1-5?
Say that one more time.
How many guys were in the 1-5?
Oh, originally it had to be at least 15 or 20 of us, at least.
And when the Insanes in the 20s became aware of the 1-5, how did they react to you guys?
When they started catching wind of the 1-5 and the whole little thing that we had going on, they didn't like it. A lot of people didn't like it. My mom's husband didn't like it. He's like triple OG from rolling 20. So he was like, no, y'all, you need to just come over here to the dub. You need to come over to the dub. But it wasn't uncommon. A lot of people did that. Now the rumor was when the 1-5 as a collection started to fall apart, I was gone at the time. But when I came back and heard about it, there was people from the Insanes and from the 20s that kind of just told all the homies, look, we're not having this. We got y'all got to pick a side. Y'all either got to come over here or go over there. But we're not doing this.
That's a that's a
And that's
lot of
because you still
pressure.
have more. You still have more homies around back then, like older homies, as opposed
That's a
to
lot.
like much years later.
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure because you got two different bookends pushing in the middle, so to speak.
Right, right.
And if I'm not mistaken, Long Beach is an all Crip city as well, right?
Say that again.
Long Beach is an all Crip city.
Yes, it is. All Crip City,
So
through and
when you
through.
mention, it's interesting that you mention the families because there's a lot of history when it comes to Long Beach and black people. Some of the first settlers of black people were they settled in Long Beach because they was working either in the Todd shipyard, Navy shipyard, and down there in Longshoreman. That's why the jobs down there was pretty lucrative, and you could make a real good middle class living down there. So a lot of people, moved to Long Beach. But it's interesting that how they divided it up, and they was just literally streets apart from one another, right? Am I correct?
Yeah, they was. They was. Like even today, I got a lot of relatives that work down there off the ports and things like that. My grandmother came from Kentucky and settled in Long Beach. I remember she would tell me how it was nothing there. It was just like saloons and shit like that. And you had like waterfronts and stuff. She basically watched LA and Long Beach, Compton and everything be built from the ground up.
Okay. Yeah, because they at one time they had the Navy base down there, and they used to even have this big old plane. What the Spruce Goose was Howard Hughes's this huge airplane. I don't know what they did with it, but it was like one of the hugest airplanes I ever seen in my life. And it used to be on display down there at the Navy shipyard, which was interesting in itself. And then you had the Pike, and I think some of the earlier days, it was they was referring to themselves the AC Deuces, then the Gaither Boys, and then the Paybacks, and they took a lot of
Yeah,
that culture
yeah,
took on another. Go ahead.
yeah. Long Beach has a lot of different faces, man. A lot of history.
Yeah, they took on a different identities, until they settled on. But what's interesting that you got guys from both sides. You got guys that are family in the 20s and family to the Insanes. And I don't know how they is interesting how they beef against one another when most of them are family.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, a lot of people for a long time have always talked about that because everybody kind of know everybody. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like like an elevator that just keeps going up, and everybody keeps coming and jumping on the elevator next, new on the list or that's growing up in the system. So
Uh-huh.
it's kind of pick your poison. Some of the beefs draw families apart. Some of it draw them together. You got like you said, the Gaithers and all them. They had a strong name. I've had people say and tell me though a lot that the Gaithers, Willie Gaithers, and all them. Some people would say that they weren't even really in the gangs, but they were just a big ass family that was about their family and handling their business, and they just kind of grew a aura about them. You know what I'm saying? Where the name just took off. Um, how true that is, I don't know. I've met a couple of Gaithers growing up, but never really spent a lot of time with them or hung around them, just kind of just passing by.
I think that's pretty accurate because I met Willie, I met Randy, I met Joe Dog. I met a few of them, and they pretty solid cats, And they was a real tight family. Uh, one of the another icon was down there was a guy named Cecil Fuller. Cecil Fuller used to have what was known as the Cocoa Palms. And the Cocoa Palms was where everybody used to go, you know what I mean, and have their after hours and function and parties and stuff. We lost him. And see, can I get him back? Yeah, we lost him. and the Cocoa Palms is where Cecil Fuller had uh, a lot of activity and was doing the 80s when, you know, when the cocaine had hit, man, and Long Beach was popping down there. And I can't think what his son name, because he was in the feds with us. And he actually, there were two cats that stood. There was Ray Browning from Pasadena. Ray Browning, he escaped from Terminal Island, and well, he didn't make it all the way out, but Ray got caught because one of the guards recognized this is Ray Pasadena Ray. And then there was what's else? Do you remember Cecil's son name? Was it Hooney or Hoochie, or not Hoochie, but I can't
Well,
think his name.
I don't remember
Anyway,
his name.
when he was in Terminal Island, right? The Long Beach cat, right? He paid somebody a handsome ransom to come pick him up off the rocks in a boat. This Cecil Fuller's son. That's when they was having big money. You know what I mean? Of course, everybody knows Dennis Thornton out there, and the a lot of the other cats that was hustling out there. You know, and I was actually in the module with Rob Dog, Big Jim Dog, Chili Bowl, Glasses, Paco, Bam, Oscar Carter. Let's see who else was there. Boy Blue, Insane, Big Insane. Just a numerous of them, man, and they was pretty cool cats, man. We was all in on Charlie Road in 2100. But
Yeah.
as you grew up, right? What was it like for you growing up, and how did you avoid becoming insane or 20?
I think for me, like the family, you know what I'm saying? In my family, you know, we had Insanes. One of my family members from Insane just died, which is Big Stand Dog, which was my uncle. He just died Friday in a motorcycle accident.
Man,
That
condolences
was
to
my
you and the
people.
family.
But mostly, I just hung out more with like my cousin Pilo. You know, little Pilo from the Dove. You know, C Night, um, Two Scoop, SG, the Browns, Tasha Brown, Mr. Roger off 21st and Linden. I mean, off 20th and Linden. Uh, Man, it's been a lot. It's a lot, man. But I think the influence for me to decide to roll more with the Dove side was just the family side and what I saw more and what I was more comfortable with. It's kind of like, you know how people ask people all the time. I got a brother from rolling 40s, a little brother, and people were mad at him because he decided to join the 40s in San Diego. But like he said, he rode with them
I think his name
because
was Hootie. Hootie. I think
who.
it was Hootie.
So my brother told everybody he joined the 40s because that's what he was comfortable with. That's what he moved with. And I think it's
Uh-huh.
the same thing everywhere. You know what I'm saying? People going to gravitate to what kind of fit them or their surrounding.
Uh-huh. That's awesome, man. You know, I interviewed Fatim, brother Fatim, and Fatim is a ex-Black Panther and a Muslim, and then Sleepy was one of the original Payback Crips who later on became a 20. And I've talked to him about this stuff, and you know, and he explained it quite well. You know what I mean? But I still wanted to hear the younger generation with their version and take on it, because often the experiences are quite different from the older cats.
Uh-huh. That's true. Um, the older cats, they you know, you talking about Catman and Reese Cup.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, you know, you got from both sides, you know, you got my uncle Big Crip from Insane, TikTok. Um, when you ask them, I think they're more like the main fabric, you know what I'm saying, of everything. We kind of came like a spinoff on the third end. So it's kind of like we still have a lot of the same preference and the same style of how we want to do stuff, just with like a little bit of a twist. As opposed to like now, it's more about the identity of the younger dudes kind of doing what they do. Like it's stuff that pop up in Long Beach now. Then there's more gangs on the east side now, from what I'm seeing and hearing, that wouldn't have been able to exist coming out of the 90s. Like I said, when the 1-5 click movement was going on, they dismantled that. So when you see a lot of the new stuff that's happening now that's going on out there that's been able to go through the times and actually continue to elevate, it wouldn't have never been able to form because of the big homies and the OGs around there. They wouldn't have allowed it because it was all about tradition.
Yeah, because
So
back then they had the Dog Foundation.
yeah, yeah, you know. So like, I just think that somehow it's more about ego. I think that the war between and the dramas that happen between the Saints and the Dove has always been more about ego and power. It's about who's the bigger figure or who's the most, Long Beach riderist, et cetera, et cetera. And a lot of times, I think the Doves get slighted a lot depending on who you're dealing with, because everybody knows they're going to usually say Insanes first. But I think the Doves get more of a slight because of people like Snoop and them. So they think there's more like a Hollywood set rather than when you look at the Insanes, they more like a trench set, like they in the trenches.
I'm glad
But
you mentioned Snoop, man, because I wanted to ask you: do you think Snoop have a great impact on the Dub, or do you think, or what is his relationship with them actually, or do you know?
mm, I think with some people, Snoop's relationship with the Dove is okay. But I think for me personally, he's in tune with the streets through the branch of certain people that he's connected to. I think when you look inside and from the homies I holler at, uh, the respect level for him is not really that high because he's not looked at as a person that's really connected to the beach like that. Other from the time he got into the game to where he is now, um, his gangster card has always been, pulled down. It's almost I've heard things where people say he was given a pass. I've heard that he bought his way into the set and the protection of it. But then it really depends on who you ask. But I would say personally, no, he's not. He's not looked at as a major figure in terms of Long Beach. Period. In terms of the gangs anywhere, I think it's more so the people he's connected to that have the most respect, and he keeps them close.
Yeah, because I saw Flossie go in on him. I'm talking
Yeah,
about go in.
yeah, Big Flossie. Yeah,
Yeah.
Flossie. Me and Flossie chopped it up a couple of times. I'm good
Shout
with
out
his
to
nephew.
Flossie, by the way. That's my guy. Shout out to
Yeah,
Flossie.
Floss, man. I talked up with Floss. I'm cool with his nephew, real heavy, Chuck Dog. And Chuck Dog is from the turf too, but he stayed up there in DC. But when I was in DC visiting Chuck Dog one time, he was telling me, and I got a chance to holler at Flossie about a lot of it, and what he said, and what he meant made a lot of sense, and that was just the facts. Hey, I was here when this was going down, when you needed help, and motherfuckers was after you, and all this and that, and then it's like you. I think the biggest problem is I'm just gonna say it, okay? 'Cause a lot of people are afraid to say this about Snoop coming from the town. He he wants the clarity. He wants the level of respect that he has not earned as an East Sider. Nobody gives a fuck about him like that. He doesn't do anything for the people, and I'm not saying he has to, but he's got to stop going out here parading like he's done the most for the beach when he has not. He's done nothing for nobody there. He owns nothing there that he's given or contribute to any part of the city. Nothing. And I think
Well,
when he goes on interviews and he speaks like this, you have real homies and real OGs and real young homies who got a problem with it. And then when they catch him, they want to pull his coat about it and like, let me holler at you real quick about this. That's what's really going on.
I mean, I think anybody can give away turkeys. I've seen him give away turkeys, but any Joe Blow can do that. That's just from
Yeah.
my point of view. And I actually had a conversation with Warren G. I happen to like Warren G. I think Warren G is a phenomenal individual. And I think that Warren G don't get the credit that he deserves
Oh
for
yeah.
actually introducing the world to Snoop, or he introduced Snoop to his brother, which was Dr. Dre. And I don't know if he get all the credit that he deserved in that. And I know Snoop holds him in high regard because I seen Snoop bless him with a Harley Davidson and was it an Elko or a Chevy or something? Something he blessed him with,
Oh
which
yeah,
was,
for his birthday. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. We're
I thought
talking
that was
about.
phenomenal. You know what I mean? But I remember back in the day it was the Quiet Cannon, which is known as the Reef now. They used to do open mic, and we used to go up there on. I think we used to go up there on a Saturday or Friday or something, and that was the first time I saw the little skinny kid up there on the open mic, and you know I thought he was decent, but I didn't know in a few years I would be seeing him on this mega stage, you know, rapping 187. So, but as the younger generation, whether it's the Dog Foundation or whether it's the Dub or the 1-5, do you guys really think that Snoop could have did a lot more in order to to bridge those gaps? Because it seemed to be gaps between the Dub, the Insane, and the 1-5, and any other guys that's around there. Do you think he could have been a person that could have broken that piece and just brought everybody together?
I think he could have if he had the mentality to do so. I think a lot of the stuff that Snoop was dealing with was very heavy on his shoulders at his premature age because he was still so young with a lot of stuff that was going on at that time. The murder trial, the industry itself, while still developing under Dre and all of that. So then you had the beef with like Easy and all them, and then so it was so much stuff going on. He still was trying to figure out who he was in the game and what he was capable of. But when it comes to the power, I don't think he had the magnitude of understanding of knowing the magnitude of what he had in his hand. Like the differences he could have made at that time. And I don't hold it against him, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody's minds mature differently. But it doesn't erase the fact that today, when you look at the rap game and you look at the comeback that the West Coast has made, Long Beach is still not there. In the 90s, Long Beach was the standard because the Dog Pound dominated. It basically solidified West Coast rap as a staple. It built Death Row. From even when Tupac came, Tupac did his best work ever, probably on all of Dash production. But like you said, to give the credit to anybody above Warren would be crazy, more so because I don't, like I said, Snoop, I don't recall them selling hundreds of records or thousands of tapes out of their trunk. That connection and what Warren did took a lot to step to the side with a connect like that he had with his brother that he could have kept for himself to put
Yeah,
his
because he
homies
like went
on.
to the front of the line.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think to me, I said it before, and I'm gonna say it right now on the Hood Postman, man, right now with you. Warren G to Long Beach rap to the G Funk sound is like DJ Sprue to Houston.
Right.
Everything around Long Beach does not happen. We can go with hypotheticals all we want. It does not happen without Warren. Period. If it's not for him, there is no Snoop, there is no Nate, which means there's no Daz, there's no Corrupt, there's no Death Row. Period. I mean, he never got to sign with Death Row, so that's ironic to think about that. Like he
Right.
brought all this talent to one person that elevated the greatest rap duo. I mean, the greatest rap label in all of gangster rap history, which is Death Row, and it all started from this one DJ, Warren G.
Yeah, I think Warren G was smart for that because I saw him when he had his bus. I Want It All. He had a bus with I Want It All painted on the side of it. I thought that was heavy. You know, that was super dope. But I got a lot of because Fabian Adams is my partner. Shout out to Big Fave. Shout out to my boy Ace. They both from Insane. But I think that the relationship that Fave have with Warren, I watched it up close because Fave, you know, because Fave was in the feds with me, and Warren was right there with him, step for step for step for step to the in the door and out the door. You know, I never saw that dude fail or look out for his partner. Even though he was on the celebrity doing his thing, he still knew how to take care of his man, and I respect that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, and so did you attend Long Beach Poly?
No, I never got to go. Only my brother got to go. I went to Wilson for a second, and then I went to Lakewood because I wasn't wearing no uniforms. I was like, I'm not wearing no damn uniforms. I'm not doing it. I got up out of there. I got up out of there. I'm like, no, no, no. I tried to go to
I
Jordan.
think Wilson was a better school though,
Yeah, but I tried to go to
academia
Jordan, man.
wise.
My cousins, I had some other cousins on my father's side that was going to Jordan. I was trying to go there, but it wasn't in my because at this time Long Beach started telling you, okay, if you live over here, you can't go. So because I stayed on Stanley in 15th, and I stayed on the east side of Wanapero Street, we wasn't allowed to go to Poly. Now my homeboy Benny Robinson went, but he ended up using I think his grandmother's address so he can go. But they started breaking us all up and kind of splitting us up by streets in the school district. So I wasn't
Right,
allowed to go. I said,
right.
"Fuck it, I'm gonna go to Lakewood, man." But Poly used to pop big time.
Yeah, Poly. Let me ask you this: what did VIP mean to Long Beach at that time? The VIP records, man, because even cats from Compton was coming to VIP to go to that record stop and cop their records and tapes and albums. You know what I mean?
Yeah, VIP, man, that's like our Motown. I'll put it like that. You know, like it wasn't uncommon to see a star there all the time. I remember when Shaq came there. You know,
Uh,
when he dropped that "Can't Stop the Rain" album, I think it was when
uh,
Quick was working with him. So I remember being there and seeing that. But yeah, it was a main stable. It was probably the biggest record store in the city, the most popular, and it was actually beloved, and protected by the community for years and years. A lot of people did a lot of things there, promoted there, and if you were independent at that time, you know, you definitely had to pass the VIP man to actually try to get yourself on.
right, right, right. The VIP was the spot, man. Iconic. The VIP on the corner, man, right there. That was. I hate to see it go. You know what I mean? Because it was
Yeah,
had been there for so long, and so many people had came through the VIP. You know, just amazing.
I think it could still do something. It would just be a little different with the way the era of music and things is handled now. And I think that they will figure out something, man, to make the VIP jump again, but on a new level. But yeah, it definitely was a main staple. It was you knew the streets were changing when the VIP disappeared. You knew the East Side
Uh,
was going through a change for sure.
right, right. Two of my cats out of there, man, was Rob Dog and Stan. Stan actually used to come. I used to tell Turtle, my homie Turtle, man, come to Graveyard Cats because they had a hearse. They had a hearse, man. They would come get that work in a hearse. You know, who gonna pull up a hearse, right?
Yeah,
But anyway, rest in peace to Stan. I think he lost his life out there in San Diego. He was going to San Diego at the time, getting down, you know. And I don't know the circumstances behind it, and I don't know what's happening with Rob Dog at this time. But yeah, shout out to them as well.
yeah.
So, at what point did you get into the music? What pulled you to the music? Was it just that G Funk sound, or Warren G, or Nate Dogg? There was something. There's always something pulling people.
Shit. I want to say when the Dove Shack album dropped, I think my big cousin was in the pen, but I was still see Scoop in them because Scoop from the Dove Shack has a baby with my cousin I own, which is my little cousin, and they would come through there time to time. And one day I was out there and C Night came through. He had like a gold, I want to say it was like a gold Monte Carlo with Dayton's on it, and I was talking to him, and I said, "How the hell you get this?" And he said, "Man, I be rapping. You know what I'm saying? You seen the videos and stuff." So I seen it, and at the time I was like, "Well, damn! If my family can get on, I know I could get on." So I just started trying to figure out how to do it. You know what I'm saying? But at that time, you know, it was popular. Everybody was pumping at that time. You know,
Right,
the
right, right.
zombies was popping, boy. It was on and popping
Yeah.
everywhere. So you
Who was
know,
all in the Dub Shack? Was Badass part of the Dub Shack?
nah, the Dove Shack was actually like it was Scoop, Bo Rock. C Night, and all right, C Night. Then you had other members that really weren't official members on the rap group, but the shack was basically off of the west side. It come off Delta Street. That's where a lot of them
Okay.
hung out
Yeah, I
at.
remember
And
Delta.
yeah,
Delta,
so
Seabright, and Fashion and all them streets over there.
yeah, so they were like their own crew within the Dove. So you're talking about like Rick Rock, rest in peace, Rock Solid. You're talking about Nutty Wayne. You're talking about my cousin Lil P-Lo. I mean, you're talking about Young Scoop. Um, it's quite a collection of them. But that's where the Dove Shack term originates from the west side on Delta, if I'm mistaken, which I think is
Okay.
C Knight's old house or Two Scoop's old house. One of the two. It's been a long time.
One of the most sought after dude in Long Beach, man, was a cat named during the time I was coming through there was a cat named Darren McMurray, man, off the west side. He was
Mhm.
at that time they was calling themselves Westbound. Him, Marco LeBlanc, Victor LeBlanc, Vernon, and Andre Wright, and just and others as well, man. But that Darren McMurray, man, he was a pain in the insane side. That dude would show up, man, in some of the most craziest times when they be at the games, and probably he'll be sitting in the stands with two goddammits on him, you know, causing trouble, man. They tried to get him for many years, and they was never successful, man. He was like Dan McMurray was like put like what Putin was to Compton, Dan McMurray was to Long Beach. Very elusive guy, very about that life, about the business.
Yeah.
Stay heated. Knew cats was on him and after him. He never lost his focus on what was going on. But I was just wondering. I know you a little younger. You probably never even heard of him, man. But I'm telling you, you go ask anybody about that cat, Dan McMurray, man. They used to call him Mac Murder.
I mean, there's so many figures like him, man, that you hear about. Man, you have people that people thought was a boogeyman. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, and that was his mystique. Like he was the boogeyman.
they used to think
And
that like when we
he wasn't a big dude, you know what I mean? Bandit and Bouncer and all them cats like Big and Sane, man, he was a huge dude. But this dude, Dan McMurray, man, was a little dude, and
yeah,
and some of the biggest dudes over there used to like, man, that dude right there, man. If he
man,
pop
you heard
up,
a lot of
man.
stuff. I mean, I knew figures when I was growing up. People talked a lot about kryptonite. People talked a lot about uh I had a play uncle named Norman. They call him Stormin' Norman from Original Paybacks. And he used to drive this fucking Seville. He had a silver Seville with with uh with some D's on it and some B. And you would never know, man, that like what type of business he would be with. He like a pimp almost all the time when you saw him, but he was really respected. And then people used to try to pin a lot of shit on Willie Gaither a lot too. Like,
Yeah, you're right.
watch out for Willie Gaither. Watch out for Willie Gaither. Watch out. You heard that shit a lot growing
Right,
up when I
right,
was
right.
coming up. So I believe it, man. I believe it for sure. Cowboy and them off the west side too. So yeah, it's definitely
Yeah, I knew
believable.
Panky and Steve-O and them too. Panky and Steve-O. And I remember when Steve-O and a couple of Carmi, they tried to come to the module, right? And Bam and Jim Dog and Chili Ball and them, man, they tell him, man, we just claiming Long Beach. I'm saying to myself, don't believe it. Don't believe it. Man, they came in there, man, and got the brakes beat off of them, man. I said, man, I don't know how they fell for that. They fell for the banana in the tailpipe. Right string, wrong yo-yo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man,
I remember
it
all
was
those
crazy.
cats, man.
Yeah,
Bo Wiggles, and I can't think of the other cats I know, but yeah, just a host of dudes over there.
Yeah, a lot of shit, man. You know, the biggest thing about Long Beach, man, is that it's got so much history. We used to call it the city of champions.
Oh, somebody in the
You know,
chat knew Darren McMurray. Darren Mack, he was with it from the 1st to the 31st. That's true. True statement. Yeah, I mean, yeah, McMurder, man. That boy, that cat was there. Him and Marco LeBlanc. And I forgot the other guy named Washington, something Washington. But anyway, yeah. Different times, man. Even Three Finger Milton is crazy. Three Finger Milton lived on the west side, but he was an insane.
yeah, yeah. I met Milton a few times. Milton was cool.
Right.
He used to come over to
Yeah,
my
so
mom's house sometimes.
okay. So out of all them cats, I know you your mom is married to Bear, right?
Yeah, yeah. She married the Sugar Bear. Yeah, they used to call him Ron Dog.
Rondo, Sugar Bear. So
Yeah,
during your time, who had the most impact on you from that section?
Sugar Bear, Little Pilo, Beefy, my big homie, Spanky Low, rest in peace, who was killed by the police in
Uh-huh.
'96, I think it was. Um, Benny Robinson, uh, SG, Chicken Swoop.
Chicken Swoop. Chicken Swoop on Death Row.
Yeah, Chicken Swoop.
That's
Man, there's
Sleepy's
a lot
brother.
of them.
The chicken was
C9.
with the business, man.
Yeah, I gotta say them. You know, especially a little Pilo, C9, and my nigga Benny Robinson, man. Because Benny
What about my
Robinson,
guy? What's his name? He in the pen right now. Reese Cup.
Gangster Reese Cup, like Big Reese Cup.
Yeah.
I, look, I've seen Big Reese Cup a few times, but it's always kind of been like passing by. But I never really got to really hang around with him that much. Now, I did chill with Lil Cup one time, which is actually the cousin of my homeboy Benny Robinson. And the nigga
Uh.
he driving around with a Suburban all the time, a green
Uh.
Suburban. And I remember one time when I first met him, I got in the car with him with the homie to get a ride home. And that's when I found out who Lil Reese Cup was that day. And he was cool, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, Big Reese Cup wasn't no joke. You know what I'm saying? From the story that's told, you know what I'm saying? Like he was a Crip's Crip, a gangster's gangster. You know what I'm saying? A leader. You know what I mean?
Right.
And way at the top of the list. You know what I'm saying? He up there. You know, but he was a good dude and he rapped too. I fucking heard an
Reese Cup
album from
rap.
him. Yeah, he was rapping. I heard an album from him once, but I never really got this. I never got a chance to really like vibe with him or sit with him that much because he was either always like on the move, or people always say he was in jail. He was never really out that much.
What about Badass? Did you ever make any music with him or anything?
No, I never recorded with Badass. I met him once. Badass was cool. He was Long Beach to the core because he could fuck with everybody. You know what I'm saying? He was the type of dude. I'm at the G'd Up video shoot, right? For the Eastsiders. Badass come rolling up on a bike, on a regular ass bike. You know what I'm saying? No lie. He's on a regular ass bike. He goes right
with a
over there to
banana
stick
with a
in there.
banana seat, huh?
Man, a regular little dirt bike. You know what I'm saying? Street for real. And even though he was in a circle, he was one of the dudes that wasn't too big to come down and fuck with everybody on a normal level. They just like from that standpoint.
Right.
I remember that day vividly. I'm gonna tell you the story. That same day, Mel. Well, man, Snoop pissed off a lot of people in that park that day at that Gangstered Up video because he threatened to take the video to LA. He pissed off a lot of people in that park. I don't know how he got up out of there.
What was his deal wanting to take the video to LA? What was that all about?
Well, up there at Kings Park, I'm standing on the table, and it's a bunch of motherfuckers out there, man. A bunch of us is out there. But it sounded like he wanted the people to kind of calm down. You know, I guess it was a group of people on the front line of the video scene that was being featured in the video, and I guess they weren't giving him enough space or enough room or whatever the case may be. So he grabs the little megaphone thing, and he's like, "Hey, look, I can't come to Long Beach and do that with my own people and blah blah blah. And if y'all ain't gonna act right and do this that, I'm gonna just shut the video down. I'm gonna take it to L.A." And when he did that, I heard motherfuckers cocking pistols in the background because I was back there with him watching.
Right.
And yeah, he pissed people off that day. I think he broke a lot of people's hearts. He broke a lot of the homies' hearts that day because he almost he did it in a way like, well, Long Beach, y'all niggas don't know how to act. My own people don't know how to act. They act better in L.A. Man, it's L.A. County. Everybody is the same. What the hell are you talking about, homie? Because your people got love for you.
That ain't even no good argument.
No. Like, bro, you in L.A. County, homie. You go to Compton, you go to South Central. It ain't gonna make no difference, homie. People go after where they act. You Snoop Dogg, homie. You from this city, and you're actually standing in the middle of the park in the heart of it all, surrounded by your own peers. What do you think they gonna do?
Hands down, man. Well, maybe not hands down. I think that "Gangstered Up" was probably one of the hardest songs that came out of there. With the 213. Was it 213 or just East Siders? East Siders.
I think it was the East Siders. Yeah, the East Siders.
But what's interesting about the East Siders, the same thing that Trey D accused Snoop of, seemed like he tried to run that same play on DW Fame. You know what I mean? Run it back. You know what I mean? I was like, because I was listening to the back and forth as far as what DW was saying, and I understood his point of view, but then I understood the business side of it as well. But it was just ironic that it happened to be Trey D, because Trey D went ham and went over there. Shout out to Ghost. Went over to Snoop's compound or house or whatever, and I think he got some time for that, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Well, yeah, at the time, I got a cousin named Eastwood from Insane. He was doing bodyguard work for Snoop at the time. And as it was told to me was, from other people as well, was that it really wasn't, it was an issue, but they said that Trey D had a problem with another homie first. Okay, it was somebody else. It was a separate situation. And the police was looking for him. And then the altercation, I guess, that went down with Snoop or whatever. And then there was an exchange there, I believe at Snoop's house or his studio, something like that.
I guess it was Crooked Eye.
I don't know. I don't think it was Crooked. I ain't hear nothing about him. But Snoop had a cousin or a relative or something like that, from what I heard. And there was an altercation, I think, between him and Trey D or something like that. But in any case, I think Trey D went to the pen for something that took place before that incident.
Okay,
because
got
there's rumors. I don't know how true it is, and obviously we have to probably ask Trey D how true it is. I think he touched on it before a little bit. There was an incident where they say he bust on somebody else in Long Beach that had nothing to do with the Snoop incident, and they ended up getting them on footage, or somebody told
somebody
on them.
said RBX, I think.
Yeah, it was something. But yeah, they said, but when Trey D went to the pen, he went for the incident that took place before the Snoop Dogg situation.
Okay, got it. I think that we don't know that at the time. I mean, because many people become angry for various reasons, and they emotionally react instead of intellectually responding, and often they don't know what they're gonna put themselves at a deficit. The deficit is that whatever that 3 or 4 or 5 years they're taken from you, you can't get that back, and then you got to come back and restart all over again, because now everything you had probably people don't gobbled it up or did what they wanted to do with it. Now you got to rebuild. So I think if It's 22 hindsight. I think looking back, he probably would rethink that situation and approach it differently this time. I believe so.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
I think he's
absolutely.
an honorable guy and everything. Trady. I think that I mean he just want what everybody else want. He want a bag.
Right.
He want to be at the top of the game. And
Yeah,
getting his due diligence out of it.
yeah. But I think I would say this. I know DW Flame since he was a little boy. I was real cool with his brother Eric, and they used to be my neighbors when we stayed off of Olive Street back in the day. And he come from a good family. Um, I find it hard to take anything he says as a lie. You know what I'm saying? Not really knowing all the facts and details, but from the little bits I've heard in the interviews with him versus Trey D, all I can say is I hope that shit get worked out. But that's insane business. At the end of the day, it's music business, but it's insane business at the end of the day. And they got to
Yeah.
deal
So
with.
it should. Do you think it should have played out on the internet? Once it played out on the internet, then it became everybody business.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, that's true because it's also an entertainment business. They both in the entertainment business.
Right.
Flame doing his thing. He's trying to build up what he's doing. Him and Savvy Third, they got their stuff popping. And Trey D is trying to do his thing with the with the Supreme Circle movement and all that stuff. I think at the end of the day, it'll get rectified, but it does kind of give you that feel of what we've seen from Long Beach, period. But we got to understand when we talk about Long Beach music, everybody sits under this umbrella of the Snoop umbrella. So in order for you to get into the game, the way it's been explained to us is you must get linked to Warren or you must get linked to Snoop. Now, the word on the street is that for years, Snoop has blocked entry of artists and talent out of the Long Beach area without his say so. He's at a corporate
Really?
level. Yeah. So at the corporate level, he has the ears of those that run those companies or major record labels, and he's told them anything that come out of Long Beach, you must come to me or call me or don't sign them. That's what the word on the street has been for a long time. Now, some people might say that that's BS, but when I look at the facts, Snoop has been in the game since 1991. It is now 2023.
Uh
Nothing
huh.
out of Long Beach has sprung anywhere, anywhere to get anything close to his level since then. He's the only one like him from that city and from the era. There's never been another mega superstar from Long Beach after him.
That's true.
And we're talking about over what, like 30 years. That's a long time not to have a new Long Beach star or somebody to take over the reins in hip hop or in R&B from that area.
What you
And
think his deal is with that?
power, and I don't mean power about money. He already got that. We're talking about the power of being put on
And control?
blast. His identity. When you get real people from a real area who got real clout and real respect from reputables or from OGs and people that can vouch for them. A Long Beach dude is not going to go in hip hop and get into a high level without being asked about Snoop. And when this happens, and people start to come out there and float their truths and facts about what is and what isn't with Snoop, it hurts his credibility. And when that happens, now it can cause turmoil. And I
That's
think that that's
interesting.
really what it's about. He has to protect his identity on that level if that be the case.
So
So,
you saying he's really protecting his brand, and he don't want nobody to diminish it or tarnish it, throw anything
right.
on that brand.
I mean,
Because
because
the
when you look
Snoop
at it,
brand is the Long Beach brand. It's the Long Beach identity.
right. So the game is, like any OG, yourself or anybody else. You want to, you know what you have create. You know the bar you set, and if anybody comes under that umbrella, you want to make sure that they have the opportunity to either reach that level or surpass it. With Snoop, it's the same thing. But when you look at somebody like Daz doesn't have people question his credibility. Like Snoop is usually the only one that has this problem. Nobody questions it about Warren. They don't question it about Goldie or Trey D or Nate Dogg. None of them. It's always Snoop. And when you get to a certain level and you telling everybody, yeah, you know, I'm from the Dub, I'm from Rolling, I do this, I did that, I was doing this, and people believe you. But here's the problem. When a thoroughbred comes in the door who's got talent, if he gets anywhere near that level and he can expose the truth about what this really is versus what it's not, it could be a potential threat to Snoop from a credibility side. And that's already questionable enough, obviously, because everybody does it anyway. And I just think that when it comes to Snoop, it's a put up or shut up deal. So I feel like people kind of in Long Beach, they kind of got like Snoop Dogg fatigue. You know, they kind of got tired of him. And the image of Long Beach has been hurt a lot too, I think, in some areas as well, because of the things that's floated around about him. So when people see Long Beach, I'm gonna keep it real, OG. Homies from Compton, homies from Watts. Nobody look at Long Beach and give Long Beach dudes or homegirls the same amount of respect that they give Compton homies and Watts homies and stuff. Long Beach is looked at as like the little peasant. Like, y'all don't have the same toughness. Y'all don't have the same riders. Y'all don't have the same stories. Y'all don't got bloods out there. Y'all ain't got no real enemies. Y'all don't put in real work. Okay, but when you look at who's the standard that everybody see that represent Long Beach is Snoop, and then you hear the stories about how he be running and shit when motherfuckers was trying to get him, he running out the back door. He ain't standing there taking no fades. He's not standing there willing to, and nobody wants to get shot or nothing, but there's been times when dude was supposed to be able to catch fades with people, and instead of defending himself, he run. And when people hear about that, they sometimes mentally wrap it in their mind that everybody from this area is like that. And that's not the truth. And I heard it from people's mouth many a times. I done got into fights with dudes at times who tried to press me just because I was from Long Beach. I done seen it happen many a times. I'm speaking all facts. Long Beach always has to prove itself. We don't have the same aura like a Compton or like a Watts or something. So we're always against the wind.
Man, you know what, man? I ain't never heard nobody from Long Beach speak that honesty you just spoke right there. And I'm not saying, see, what people don't understand, different don't mean deficient. It don't mean deficient. It don't mean less than. It's just different. And what people have to do, there's the stigma about Compton and Watts, of course, and all this stuff, right? And then you have Long Beach. But I beg to differ. I think that the Long Beach had the people there, but due to the fact how it's structured shows that there's something wrong with it in the way it's structured. You understand? Because nobody have that structure that they have anywhere else. Everybody else have the duality. You know what I mean? And I'm glad you're willing to speak on it, and you saw it in terms of what you needed to see it in, and at the same time you articulated in a way that was, everybody can relate to what you were saying. And once again, shout out to Long Beach, shout out to LBC, shout out to the Dub, shout out to Insane, the Westbounds. I think they call themselves something different now, Springdale, whatever. I think they all have a right to speak for their own behalf, but at the same time, it's all about interpretation.
Yeah, but it's the truth, man.
What defines you?
Yeah, I mean, Long
And
Beach
that's
is
why
always
I say, Flex. That's why I say when I come on here, this is not a glorification, this is an education. And right now, you just educated the people. You can go anywhere and hear the lies, but you come here to the Hood Postman to hear the truth. Before guns, we had fair ones. So people need to man up if that's where we're going. The thing about it, and I'm gonna let you say something right here, because I gotta say this, that the systemic racism and institutional racism depend on us being, and I'm gonna go ahead and say the word, depend on us being niggas. Depend on niggas killing niggas. Depend on niggas hating on niggas. Because as long
Yeah.
as we keep doing that, they know we still sleep. The moment we wake up
Absolutely.
out of that stupor and begin to take on a new identity, the identity that God potentially, the potential that God want us to live up to, and then we begin to change the dynamics, and this whole world, this whole globe begin to spin differently. It begin to
Yeah.
spin in the way it was meant to spin.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
I don't mean that sometimes you have to make a finer point and you have to use words that you don't necessarily use in your vocabulary, but that's what that's what the natives understand. And I tell you, it takes a tribe, it takes a village to raise a child, but also a child that doesn't feel embraced by the village will burn it down to feel it's warm. We got to always know that. And right now, the kids in the streets, kids on the blocks, alleys, the parks, wherever they hanging at, skate parks, whatever, they don't feel embraced. So that's why they're so disrespectful, disobedient, and all this other stuff. But I don't mean to get off the rail. Man, I respect what you just said, though.
Yeah, Long Beach is tough, man. You always like the little brothers, like you're gonna be the underdog. Long Beach always the underdog in the room. But I just feel like it is what it is. It's nothing new. Um, but I just think that everybody in LA County, man, because LA County is like a family within itself. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, it's nothing like it. They have the same type of structure and rules, the politics. Each hood is different, but as a whole, LA moves as a county. It moves as one unit. LA
Uh-huh.
County goes to if LA goes to war, the whole county goes. So it's kind of like um, I don't really know what it is about about Long Beach. I don't know, but Long Beach is as capable as anybody. But I just feel like when you got certain figures at the top who don't represent to a way that people can understand or respect, then it has a domino effect. It trickles back. And I feel like more times than not, it's been a lot of people that had to, fight that stigma based off of the people that's represented Long Beach at a certain level. Long Beach is not a Hollywood city, but because of the popularity of people like a Snoop Dogg and what they represent, and by holding the blue rag, that standard is set by him, whether he even knows it or not, and people are going to judge anything that comes out of there off of that image.
I
And
thought about that too, Flex, because when they did the blue carpet celebration and they read the Constitution, the Machine in Motion, and all that, and I saw Snoop in there and I saw all those dudes, I thought for a moment, I thought it was like, dang, they setting us back. But then when I thought about it, I said Snoop had the opportunity to raise the bar because he can change the narrative, or he can change it to a way because he's commercial. He's doing movies or sitcom shows with Martha Stewart. That makes him acceptable, really acceptable in America.
yeah,
Whereas you and I, they gonna frown on us, but he really got their ears and got their attention. So he got the ability to change the narrative of because I say this all the time that gangbanging is not the ethnic identity of black people.
mm,
We much more than that.
yeah. And I
And
think
I know,
Nipsey was
and I
like,
know that I know there's some hogs in Long Beach. I know it personally. There's some hogs in Long Beach, but I don't
oh
think they
yeah,
get to shine because I don't know. I don't know what holds them back. I don't know, what keep them from shining. But there's some hogs in Long Beach.
oh yeah, most definitely. And like you said, the gangbanging has nothing to do with who black people is and what the main thing is about us as blacks. And Nipsey was a perfect prime example of that. You know, now I look at a person who did it as much as he did in so small of amount of time, and then I look at what Snoop has and his name and how big he is globally and how much he hasn't done in his
Uh,
own city in all these years. You know, you gotta make it make sense. Two and two gotta go together. You know what I'm saying?
right,
And
right.
I don't think people really want to destroy Snoop. I just think that it's about being what you say you are. As long as you do that, people are respecting more. But if you're not, you know, why wouldn't you ruffle feathers of your own people and your peers if you out here saying one thing but you're not? But nothing
Right.
that really come out of that umbrella has ever really been successful. I think it's important from a business, music standpoint, whatever it is. You're gonna own a business, whatever, you gotta come together and create something new. You know, like I said, uh, Cash Money and them didn't sit back tripping because Master P didn't want to work with them. They went and made their own thing, and they rose up out of New Orleans on their own terms. And
And
until
they
Long Beach
became
cats
bigger
do
than
that,
Master P.
yeah, it became bigger. So Long Beach got to do the same thing. They got to get together, get their own collective of talent together, say, man, fuck this, we're going to go out here and do this. We're going to do it on our own and create our own thing and rival what they did. And we're going to do it better, and we're going to do it like this. And when something like that happens, it's time to go. And I've been sitting with people, you know, that's already at that level now that I've been linking with and to do work with. You know what I'm saying? And shouts, like I said, shouts to BB, man, because the big homie is a real one. Me and him gonna do some work too. You know what I'm saying? And it's going down for sure. But you know, it's all about building relationships, man, and also being able to be in tune with the right people. And if you do that, you know, you're unstoppable with a plan, of course.
Right, right, right. Got you, got you, got you, got you. Let me see. What's up? Check it in from the west side of Long Beach. I lived in the Springdales before, pretty much. I grew up all over the west side. So you knew Darren McMurray, Andre Wright, and Vernon Wright, Victor LeBrunt, Marco LeBlunt, Panky, Steve O, Bo Wiggles. You knew all those cats, hopefully. Already done it. Mel has his channel. Okay. But yeah, Flex, man, listen, man. So what are you working on now as far as your project?
Man, I'm working on opening this new studio that I got popping now, man. So I'm finna open that up. I got a project with the homie Young Black I'm working on up in Central Cal. I'm finna do this project and do a record and stuff and some music work with Beefy and everybody on his side and his team with him. Um, I'm still producing. I got my websites and stuff going now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm about trying to go to the next level now. I already got my little trucking business going, so I got that out the way. And
Uh-huh.
you know, right now I'm just about elevating and continue to just push the goals and push the narrative as much as I can, man, to try to continue to be in control of my own success. Because I think that's
Man.
what, as black people, I think that's what needs to be said, man. I think this. If I could say anything to any of the Pyro homies, the Crib homies, or whatever, man, the essays, whatever, we in a problem right now where we're not going to retire if we don't retire ourselves. The game is not designed
Right,
for us to succeed. If
right.
we don't get out this Miss Independent Woman of the Year shit or whatever, you're gonna drown on the back end. If we got to take control of our own careers and retire ourselves in order for us to be able to have good lives for ourselves. The
True.
days of pensions and retirement funds, that's over. That
Right.
era is done and over with. So that's what I try to do, man. I try to push you know, self-empowerment, you know what I'm saying, business and
Shout out to DJ
awareness.
Vegas. Right on, man. Well, Flex, I don't want to keep you any longer, man. You did a phenomenal job. Love the interview. Your energy and your information was so spot on, bro. Shout out to you, man. Shout out.
Yeah, for sure, man. You
We're
know,
gonna
make
we're gonna
sure,
do it
man.
again, man, because I know we're gonna get some rebuttals. So so if we gonna rebut what we gotta rebut, you know what I mean? So there it is there. So with that being said, man, shout out to where can people find you at, man? Where they find the West Wolf at, man? Y'all go follow the West Wolf right now. Go like, subscribe, and share. Where can they find you at?
Man, official Westwood Bangers on TikTok and at official Westwood Bangers on IG. You can subscribe to me at official Westwood Bangers as well on YouTube. And you can also check me out on westwoodbangers.com and you know, tap in with me, man. and we going from there, man. I'm always easy to find, hard to lose.
Right on, right on, right on, man. With that being said, shout out to the Westwolf, man. Go to the Westwolf Bangers on IG and TikTok and all the platforms, man. Go follow him, man. Like, subscribe, and share. Enjoy the rest of your evening, sir. We'll talk soon.
For sure, OG.
Right on.
Later.
Later. Man, we had the Westwolf in there from Long Beach, man. I think he really articulated that really well. You know, of course, we're going to find some people that don't like what we said or be discontent, irritable and discontent, but that's okay. That's part of it. And that's why we're here to help, you know what I mean, elevate and educate and also motivate our people and give our people some encouragement to go out and want to do more besides sitting around waiting on another individual. Just go out there and be that individual that God intended you to be. I am Professor Melly Mel, the Hood Postman. This is not a glorification. This is an education. You can go anywhere in the world to hear the lies, but you come here to hear the truth. Man, before they had handguns, they had fair ones. So man up. With that being said, Marlena Williams, how you doing this evening? How are you today? Michelle and everybody, Dom, everybody that's in the chat, man. I appreciate you, all you guys, man. You know, and I should have hit him with this.
What do you mean by
that? Yeah, that's what they're gonna ask. They're gonna say, Professor Melly, but what did you mean by that? You know,
stop the cap.
Cap. With that being said, Marlena Williams, you know the vibe. We're going to go ahead and close this out. Phenomenal energy. Like I said, it was a great interview. I enjoyed him.
Perfect grind all the time, baby.
Yeah. Cali Miners, baby. Perfect grind all the time. Music money. Got a dollar sign. Hub City. I'm a street nigga, streets fuck with me. I'ma keep pushing products till the fans get me. It's guap off top, diamond Cartier. That nigga wall won't give a broke bitch the time of day. They see me climbing, they see me shining. That's hard work, proof of grinding. New money got me tipping in that 550. Ali, bad man, and I'm so pretty. I got that tech with me, that's my hater sprayer. Go big, grind now, nigga, play later. What can I say? I'm addicted to this paper stacking, and I don't talk about it, I just make it happen. Word on the block is that my shit go. Reach for the low.
Marlena Williams, go ahead and lock the door, because we are gone.